Hello, YouTube. I wanted to do a video to talk about a more serious topic about domestic violence and abuse towards women. I wanted to talk a little bit about harassment and something that we all go through, but we don't really talk about it. You know, us as women, we get shut down by other women. We get told, oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? And I just want to talk briefly about speaking up for yourself. And I can't stress that enough on this channel. I know that certain videos more people watch than others, but if I could just get one woman to just listen to this, I've done my job. I wanted to talk about the miya micrano story. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but she was unfortunately murdered by the maintenance man. And I wanted to briefly talk about that because a lot of these maintenance men are creeps, and I know from my own experience. And when it first happened, I think it was 2 years ago it happened, I remember commenting and saying, every single woman has been through it. If you live alone, if you live on your own, you've been through it. And I wanted to let women out there know, stand up for yourself. It's okay to stand up for yourself. It's okay to put your foot down. And also let family know what's going on too. Me personally, I don't think I've ever told my father what was going on because it never got that serious. But I did plan on reporting one of them. So I want to talk about. So I've been living where I'm living for 11 years. And about 2 different maintenance men, maybe more, but the 2 that I remember try to get with me. They didn't just try to talk to me once, they tried to talk to me several times. One in particular, I actually told the other maintenance guy about him, and he said, oh my God, he did that, he could lose his job, da 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 da. And me being young, I didn't know this because these are not conversations that I have with other women. I feel like this is something that you kind of keep to yourself. I know when I answer the door, sometimes I'm in shorts, and I started blaming myself for it. And it doesn't matter how you answer the door, whatever. A man should never violate you on the job, on his job, even though it's your home. So with miya micrano, she was a Hispanic girl. She was harassed by the maintenance guy. He kept trying to get with her. She turned him down, right? My experience, of course I turned them down, not just because they work in the building, but I wasn't attracted to them. They were old, they were big, they were, one particular guy, he looked like Santa Claus, and he was just very vulgar to me. He was saying things, telling me about some girl that was giving him fellatio on a dance floor, and he just was always trying to get with me. And I'm like, it got to a point when I was like, the final straw for me, I had moved to my second apartment that I'm in now, and he was like, oh, you're not gonna invite me to your housewarming? And I'm like, why would I do that? Like, we're not friends. Like, what the hell? Like, he was just so creepy. And he was just so old looking. And I'm like, I'm not, like, attracted to that. That's not something that I'm into, whatever. And come to find out from the other maintenance guy, he got a wife and kids. So it's like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, you just, But I was going to report him because he was doing too much, And he wasn't coming no more. They were sending other people. When I think he kind of got the hint. And when I would see him in the street, I purposely wouldn't say nothing. And that's something that my mother taught me. She was like, you can't say hi to these men because when you say hi, in they crazy mind, they think you want them. It sounds crazy, but it's very true. And those are my ladies. Y'all know out there, y'all know what I'm talking about. I had a former friend. she was a female and she didn't get it. It's like, no, you can't say hi to everybody because they crazy and they think it's something else. So this guy, this maintenance guy, he creeped me the hell out. He really creeped me out. And I was going to report him. I didn't know his name, but I knew if I gave a description to the management office, they would have dealt with it. And there was another guy that was trying to talk to me, and he understood I wasn't interested. Like, one time I told him, you know, hey, I don't like big dudes. He's like, oh, you calling me fat? I said, well, that's how you take it. And another thing I didn't like about him, he was talking about some lady with big legs. He was like, oh, I was talking to a girl and she was walking from downtown to Nostrand Avenue, Crown Heights, and her legs were real big. I'm like, what? Like, who said something like that? He's very critical of others. And like, he was just, I was not, he actually caught me off guard. I was walking down the street and he like made me kiss him on the cheek. Really like caught me off guard, like put me on the spot. But I stood my ground and I told him I'm not interested, like that's not what I'm into, whatever. And yeah, so right. So, and I'm happy. I've been here 11 years. Nobody could say nothing about my name, you know, nothing, nobody could say anything about me. Now, you do hear of stories, like when I was growing up in Linden Plaza, shout out to Linden Plaza, East New York, but there were people, there was a girl I grew up with actually, and her child's father is the maintenance man, and it was weird because he was like 30 and she was like 18. I'm like, okay, whatever, float your boat, whatever. But yeah, so people knew that was going on. And then my neighbor across the hall from my parents, she was a cop, and there was a rumor that she was messing with one of the maintenance men. So just me seeing that, for myself, I would never want to do that because it's like, it's weird. And then from where I live, these men is fat and old. Like, like if I'm gonna date a maintenance guy, I'm gonna make sure he look good. Like, looks ain't everything, but I don't want somebody with a wife and kids and, you know, he living with the wife. And come on now, who wants that type of baggage in their life? And then he nasty. Like, the way he talked to me was very nasty, you know. So, but I said all that to say this, you know, for me, I didn't report him and I regret it. I guess somebody else reported him because I noticed, like, after a while, his whole demeanor changed. Like, he went from trying to talk to me to, like, it completely changed. So I think somebody did report him because he just changed. He went back to being professional. He never came back to my home, thank God. But, like, his whole demeanor changed, you know. So somebody, I guess, said something, because I'm pretty sure I wasn't the only one. And I seen him walking down the street in a suit one day. I know he don't live over here because I remember he said that more than once. He don't live over here. But it looked like he probably got with somebody in the building or something. I don't know. But he left me alone and I was happy about that. But I wanted to tell my ladies who live alone, if you have a maintenance guy that's harassing you, please report it to management. I don't understand how in this story, it's unclear if she reported it to management. I think they did know because the report was he kept expressing interest, which is considered harassment. And I wanted to talk to the fellas too, because some of y'all don't understand the word no, okay? And I'm gonna tell you, if you ask a girl out, I don't care if she's a tenant, I don't care if she's a classmate, I don't care if she's a coworker, and y'all never did nothing, y'all never had, I could understand if y'all had sex and so you like, well, she gave me some, so it's hope. No, I'm talking about if she never gave you her Instagram, Facebook, or phone number, she never gave you no play, she's telling you no, leave her alone, okay? That means no, she's not interested. Okay? Capiche? Capash. Because some of y'all niggas don't understand. Y'all think, oh, she's just playing hard to get. She's not playing, you know? And no means no. And that's what y'all don't realize. Like, I've had too many incidents where it was like, damn, like, do you not get females? Like, what the fuck? Like, that's very annoying. And you don't want to be remembered as a creep. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't you be, you know, you don't want to be remembered as a creep. Like, oh, that's the guy that harassed me. Like, come on, have some dignity with yourself, you know. And, yeah, so it's like, it's unfortunate what happened to her. The maintenance guy took things to another level. He killed her because she didn't want to get with him. And that's just really, really sad, you know. And to the families, too bad they didn't really check up on her, or, you know, too bad she didn't have like a boyfriend or a gentleman friend to like stay with her, you know. But yeah, that's one. I also wanted to talk about stand your ground when it comes to, so I don't know if y'all know 48 Hours, it comes on YouTube now. So I briefly wanted to talk about that, domestic violence. I've never been in a domestic violence situation. I would definitely end up in jail because I would feel like the audacity. But I know a lot of people who have been through it. In this particular case, I'm not going to say it's her fault, but what y'all have to understand is men know when they're being used, right? They know it, they sense it. And so what they end up doing is they end up resenting you, cheating on you, or in this case, beating you. So this young lady, she, this story is from 1993. 1993, Breathe Rule Projects. She was a single parent. She dates a correction officer. So even, I guess back in the days, that was considered a good job. It's still considered a good job, whatever. So as soon as the interview starts, she ain't say, oh, he was handsome. She ain't say he was a good person. All she kept saying was corrections. So that right there is like, so you got with him because he had a good job and he could take you out the projects. That's not right. That's not right. And so, of course, he knew that she was using him. He probably knew that within himself. So that's what made him angry. The grandmother now tells her, oh, you need to stay with him because he got a good job. Not once did she say she loved him. Now, I didn't finish watching the video because within 5-10 minutes, she talks about the abuse. So usually some stories, they like wheel you in, but she just was telling a lot of details real quick. So I didn't even watch the whole thing. But, you know, you can't do that. As a woman, that's not right, you know. And too many old school women, I'm not going to even say old school, slow school, because that's slow to tell somebody, oh, well, he got a good job, stay with him. It's plenty of men out here with good jobs. Plenty of men. Now, a man should never hit a woman, but the question I would ask her is, do you love him? Do you love him? That's the most important question to ask your friend, daughter, or granddaughter. Do you love him? If you don't love him, you don't need to be with him, because what's going to end up happening is he's going to resent you. They human. Men are human too. So if he don't hit you, he going to be doing something else. And you're going to be miserable because you don't want him in the first place. You just with him because he got a good job and he could take you out the projects. Like, I could never do that. I could never, like, no. There's plenty of men I've encountered and dated, and I've had options. There's no way I'm going to be with a nigga that just because he got a good job. Like, that's crazy to me. That's really, really, like, you bringing your children into misery. And there's a saying that's like, oh, you're supposed to get with the guy who like you. No, hell no. Because he could be a weirdo. That doesn't mean that he's the right one for you because he like you. There's a lot of people who like me. That don't mean I like them. And the ones that I don't like is good reasons why I didn't like them. You know, I could have been with my friend for 20 years. There's certain things about his character that was not good. I'm not going to be with something like that. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like this, you should never teach your daughter or granddaughter, like, oh, he got a good job, so stick with him. What? Like, that's crazy to me. And that's why he was beating her, because he knew that she ain't want him. And I don't condone violence, but I can only imagine how that feels. And I say that because I've been used for money. Like, I wasn't paying nobody's bills, but I know how it feels to like someone a lot and they want to play like they broke. So I've never like been used for thousands of dollars, not on that level. No one's ever lived with me and you just go and soak up my food and no, hell no. That's my self-esteem never been that low. But I've been in a situation where I go out, we hanging out, and I'm paying for dinner, I'm paying for movies, I'm paying. Eventually, after a few months, I'm like, nope. And I stop it and I move on. It's not a good feeling to be used, right? So imagine a man that's really into a woman and he's forced to pay all the bills and you just acting like Princess Diana around the crib. That can make anybody angry. You know, not saying he had, like, again, I don't condone violence. And if anybody's hitting you under the sound of my voice, if you watching this video, call 311. Go to a shelter. Please get help for you and your children, because it's not worth it, you know. But she never said in the interview that she loved this man. That should be number one in a relationship. Do you like him? Do you love him? That's what we need to start teaching our daughters and granddaughters. Do you love him? Does he make your heart skip a beat? Does he, like, even my own mother, she taught me, be better than me. Don't be like me, Crystal. Be better than me. If he don't make your heart skip a beat, if he don't do it for you, don't do it. You know, and it's so easy to get with a man because there's a lot of them out there and they like, oh, okay. But then it's like, no, if you're not really into them, leave them alone. Let him be somebody else's blessing. Just like my military ex. I could have been living in another state, living in a house too, married. But I released him because I knew I wasn't feeling him like that. You know, that's miserable. That's miserable to be with somebody and you know you're not really feeling them. Release that person so they could be somebody else's blessing. You know, she was holding on to him because, you know, that was her ticket out the projects. So you know what happened? God allowed her to get beat, because you don't do that to people. It's not right to use them so they could be your meal ticket. God will allow that person to hurt you for her physically, you know. And the reason why I say that is because I've seen it over and over again. When you as a woman, you think that, oh, I'm gonna get with this guy and I'm gonna use him. Guess what? He gonna play you and he gonna hurt you even more. And I've seen it over and over again. You think you one up on him. No, he's one up on you. Because people are human. It's not right. Karma is real out here. Then that same one who you think you getting over on, God is going to let them play you and make you look stupid. You know. So she eventually became a cop and she got away from him and stuff like that, which is good. You know, she didn't stay in a... But the foundation of their relationship was, oh, he had a good job and he was able to take me out the projects. Like, that's not good. You know, so... But yes, that's the two stories I wanted to talk about. And, you know, stand up for yourself. Domestic violence is wrong. Harassment is wrong. And if you have any questions, call 311. You know, and those are my thoughts.